Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining Exposure Explosion Festival Company Breakdown. I'm Stud the Kid. So I'm going to go through everything. First of all, I just want to thank you for being patient. We have an overload of people trying to get on, so we're just trying to help them back and forth, make sure they have everything before we get started. At the same time, we're just trying to make sure everything is updated as it needs to be. Please excuse us. It's COVID time. With that being said, a lot of companies are experiencing what we call an overwhelming amount of struggle trying to get the right softwares to go live. So we have a little bit over 25,000 people expected. And with that being said, there's not a service right now that caters to that without having to charge people. And obviously, we're not trying to do that. So please excuse us as we get people on and just trying to make sure they're able to log in. Again, if you're just tuning in, it's Central Standard Time. We understand that a little bit. Things have gotten a little crazy a little bit, but I'm going to go ahead and jump right into Exposure Explosion Festival Breakdown. Okay. So again, this is not a interview. This is strictly a company overview, not just for you. So we have a lot of people on here who are also interested in services. We have a couple of mayors in here. So we're just trying to basically make sure everyone has the same information, both customer facing as well as client facing, you know, new hires, etc. So please work with me. I'm Stud the Kid. So if you've done your homework on the company, you know exactly who I am, my story, the company story, etc. So, all right, let's go ahead and dive in. So what I'm going to do first, I like to kind of help everyone ease their minds a little bit since it's a new company, a new trend. Um, I'm going to show you our company tax information, just kind of showing you proof that we are who we are. So, one moment while I pull that up for you. Everyone, bear with me. Like I said, new service, tons of people. Okay. Okay. So, just checking with my team who is on as well. I'm just going to make sure they can see my screen to verify that you guys can see it. So, can my team see the screen? Just making sure. So, okay. Hold on. We're just making sure you guys can see it here. All righty. Can they see? Okay. They're saying, oh, I figured it out. Okay. You guys should be able to see the screen now. Okay. Like I said, y'all work with me. COVID time has ruined everything as far as growth goes for services. Okay. So as you can see, you can go to the Texas Comptroller. That's where we're registered of public accounts. Entity name. There we go. One moment. Oh, got to clarify we're not a robot here. And search. So sorry, I was already in here making sure I was ready for you guys. One moment. There we are. All of our details. Everything's looking cute. Definitely legit. Running around here. Here's us just to kind of help you guys out a little bit, okay? So now that you guys have kind of seen that information, we're going to go ahead and go into our company overview. Um, Again, we're going to run through this relatively quickly. If there's any questions, my team will weed out those questions if we deem them relevant enough to go ahead and throw them in the time. When I go through the company overview, I'm going to go pretty quick. I just want to make sure I knock out basic information about our company, who we are, what we do, etc. So if you have questions, feel free to type them in. Remember, there's quite a bit of you, so we're just trying to make sure we get all that information as quick as possible and kind of reply with answers. So I'm going to run through it. Okay. Like I said, thank you again for working with me. One moment while I get this together for you. Okay. Okay, one moment. The screen is loading up. Then I'll be able to kind of share everything with you guys. Okay. Okay. One moment. Okay, as I said, y'all, thank you for working with me. COVID has messed up everything. We actually had a software we were looking to use for this to make it more intimate, and just nothing has went right with these softwares. Everything takes over a year before we can actually access things. So just work with us a little bit. Saying it's downloading. Okay. You know what? I might just go ahead and use the software itself here. I don't really like to do this just because it messes everything up, but we're going to go ahead. I'm a little bit impatient. I like to make sure we get the information in without you guys feeling like you're wasting your time. Some of you have waited so patient. Thank you again. So you're going to see kind of the making of this from the back end. Just bear with me. I just want to make sure I don't waste you guys' time. I get you this information and you're not waiting so long. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Like I said, you're going to see the slideshow on the creation side. Just ignore it. We're going to run through these screens though. I want to make sure you get this information. Okay. So one moment. Alrighty. Alrighty. And here we go. Okay. Okay. So again, please bear with me. I just want to make sure everything is good. So welcome to Exposure Explosion Festival Company Overview. Think of it like the Amazon of entertainment. So that's the best way I can describe it to you. We are trying to basically be the Amazon of all things entertainment for artists. So Exposure Explosion's goal is to produce all services strictly for entertainers of all types. So musicians, models, dancers, etc., comedians, anything in the entertainment world, that's our focus, okay? Second, we are a hybrid company, meaning our services that we offer are remote, in person, and traveling. So all of our services are hybrid because, again, we're looking at a future COVID. If you've been watching the news lately, you know we're kind of dealing with the second outbreak. So making sure that as we're going through these new times, we don't lose stamina about our company, what we're trying to do. Our clients are able to still receive services. We're still able to gear up for major festivals, just everything. That's the goal. Changing in today's time. Okay. What is Exposure Explosion Festival? So that's been the biggest question. I know from some potential new hires, that's been the big thing. We focus on four parts: 24/7 live stream concerts, weekly in person concerts, yearly major tours, and also the lifestyle of an artist. So when we say the lifestyle, we're talking about housing, medical, daycare, and services in general. Anything to support an artist able to be able to do their job, careers, and do what they love to do, which is perform, model, same thing, just anything in entertainment, being able to back that up and support growth and everything. What is considered an entertainer? So, as I was saying, actors, comedians, dancers, we also offer services for drag queens, models, MCs, musicians, anything entertainment. Our focus is truly focusing on entertainment. Okay. Cost of services. We don't charge to perform. So artists do not have to pay to perform. We don't believe that they should have to do that. We do charge for services. So anytime we have Exposure Explosion Festival, so remember, there's four parts to Exposure Explosion Festival. So when we have the tours, those they don't have to perform, pay. When we have our weekly concerts, they don't have to pay. All of those things. But now when they're needing booking services, housing, or if they're needing to develop their career, get management, all of those, they do have to pay for those services. Okay. Just being very black and white on that. But to perform, they do not. Consumer process to get services. I want to basically walk you through the of how it would work on a consumer side. So this should help. Step one, you call the call center. Member services will explain our company and services, black and white. Step two, member services will transfer you to billing, collections, and refund, who will take your payment. So that's step two. And then step three is member service will assign your direct contact and the client will start services. Hopefully that makes sense. Pretty simple steps, nothing too complicated. Our goal is that if you are the rep answering the phone, also known as the member side of things, you do not have to make sales. Your job is strictly to explain the company. The company, we believe, can sell itself. We don't need you to sell. We just need you to explain our services by using our help desk and just making sure the little information that I myself or other teammates around you cannot give individually. That's your job to make sure they get that information. Again, just rewalking by for billing, collections, and refunds. That department is broken up into three different fields depending on what a client needs. Those three different fields will handle and take over that information. So if you're a call center rep, you will not be handling payments. Your job is simply to explain the service, and then depending on which side of the service you're explaining, step three is, of course, at that point, whoever else is a call center rep will then make sure that the client is getting access to the service. So that's where we want you to focus so far. Two versions of member services. So, like I was saying, there's two versions of member services: company explainers and company assigners. So, the home based call center reps is our company explainers. So, if you're a company explainer and you applied for home based call center rep, that's you. So, your job is simply you're talking based. So, your job is to talk to our clients via phone, respond to phone calls and social media. That's your job. Just simply talking, communicating, stuff like that. Membership coordinator, those are our company assigners. You are strictly email based with our clients, meaning emails will be how you contact the clients. Your job is done towards the consumer. So you'll email the consumer side. So that means artists, etc. Anybody who's an entertainer, you will use email primarily. Phone and email is for in-house contacting to ensure new services is starting. So for instance, if I'm a manager, you are a membership coordinator, and a consumer has already went through the full process, your job is then to connect someone with me, basically, and you're making sure everybody gets their processes started on time without any issues. Okay. How am I important positions? So these are going to fill in the gap of the positions that I did not talk about in depth, as far as the process, because those are more the in betweens. So, for instance, artist manager, you manage outside entertainers and Stud the Kid. So the best way, I want to make sure that you guys understand, we put Stud the Kid in there because we want to be able to show that our artist managers know what they're doing. They have that talent, those credentials. I will also make sure that our managers have the right statute to be that, because what people don't realize is for artist managers, it's very different. Does that make sense? So meaning your department services are package based, meaning we don't charge commission. So if you're an artist manager or if you're a consumer, you need to know we do not charge commission. Our company does not believe in commission based positions. We strictly charge our consumers a monthly fee for the service. So that way, managers and talent booking agents and anyone else who would typically be commissioned don't have to worry about it. Child care teachers. You will work in our child care department. That's your goal. That's your focus. That's where you'll stay. It's pretty cut and dry. I don't need to go too far into that. Of course, obviously, for each store that we get or office, there will also be a connected child care center. So because between our employees and our artists, obviously, childcare is important, and that's a benefit and a perk of being a part of Exposure Explosion Festival. Dancers. Dancers work in EE Festival. So you work for our consumers as well. So during EE, your job will be to perform, make sure things are happening like they're supposed to. You're just basically giving it that extra umph in there. So because a lot of times artists don't have the funds to build a whole true set where you have the dancers, the DJs, the music, just everything. Our job is to make sure that when we have EE live, they have the best experience possible to be able to just pull that energy out into the fans and just help the festivals thrive. So you're going to focus there. You're also going to focus on just in general, your department focuses on building dances in general while we have downtime for EE Festival. Your job is just to make sure we keep people entertained in all areas. Debt collector, pretty plain cut and dry. You're going to work in billing. So your job is just to make sure if we're owed money, we get that money so that we can continue to operate our services, obviously. Delivery associate, you have two focuses. So dropping marketing material, please excuse all this, y'all. We were working on fixing all this up, typing fast, making sure everything was good. And then the second focus is dropping other items off as needed. So for instance, dropping other items off as needed. If for our phlebotomist, I know that they get a box sent to them and they get all the supplies sent. We may, if you're in that city and state, we may have it shipped to you so that you can just deliver it to the phlebotomist. I know that we have other people that may need items. So as a driver, you will not only just be dropping marketing material on every door that you see, you might also be dropping off something for employees. It's just an easier way to do things. Yes, that's right. If you are a delivery associate, we believe the old ways work best, meaning your focus is just strictly to put the marketing material on the door. You don't have to talk to no one, get anything signed, none of that. You are just dropping it off, get back in your car, keep going. That's all that we ask for that. Entertainment trainer, pretty plain and simple. You're going to train our employees about entertainment as we grow. Fast food trainer, train employees about fast food. So that's pretty cut and dry. Hairstylist, barber, all those things. So you're going to work for EE Celebrity Cuts. Those are something that we actually have. You can actually check our registration for our company. You'll see we own EE Celebrity Cuts. So if you're a hairstylist or barber of any kind, we're going to basically mold you into this app that we're building. It's going to come out to the whole world. They're going to be able to see all the barbers all around the world. And they're going to be able to work with you to get their hair done and basically just be able to use Exposure Explosion as a lifeline for artists. So independent musicians play on EE Live. So this is actually my favorite one. So if you're an independent musician, you get to automatically play on EE Live. So that's our subscription base. If you've done your homework about Exposure Explosion Festival, you see everyone from billboards to Hype Magazine, everything else has been talking about it. We're about to come out with something extreme. So EE Live is the new in-house concert, everything done at home, meaning we are getting so creative. You can be at home, see that an artist has a shirt coming out and you want to buy it, you will get it shipped to your house. If an artist is playing and they're saying, hey, if you want my new CD, you can order it right now. You can be live right now talking to your artist and they get that sent to you directly to your door. Isn't that amazing? So I completely love it. I think it's an awesome thing. Just all of that. So they get to play on EE Live, of course, our normal festivals. They get to play on our YouTube, Roku channel, and more. The goal is to maximize the exposure. Model agency director. Cut and dry, you're going to deal with our hype girls and our models. Phlebotomy technician, you are traveling. So it's pretty simple. Your job is simple. You're going to make sure you're going to go to, in your city and state, go to the address that we send to you, and you're going to handle drug testing, any service tests from the medical side, and more. You're going to get those done On your door, you're going to have a Quest diagnostics box. You're going to put in your box, and that's it. So you're going to get up, you're going to go to your client's house, you're going to do what you need to do, you're going to bring that the specimens back, you're going to put it on your door inside the box, you're going to lock it, and you're just going to go on your computer, click enter, Quest knows to come pick it up. That's simple. So pretty much that's what you're doing. Nothing more, nothing less. For phlebotomy technicians, we really don't need to do a whole lot of interviews. I'm just going to be black and white with it, because what are we going to interview you for? If you have a certification, you know what you're doing. So our biggest thing for phlebotomy technicians is not to waste your time. If you're able to do the job, we definitely need you, because of course by law we have to run some drug tests on some positions and just other things, etc. So that's simple, plain cut and dry. Photographers, your job is pretty straightforward. All events, all services, stud the kid. What that means, we need you everywhere, all different kinds of ways. You'll be surprised how many artists do not have the proper photography backing that they need in order to be legit. So we really need your help to be able to maximize artists, and just get them where they need to be. Photo shoot stylist, same thing. I cannot tell you how many times I've done a photo shoot and did not know which pose should I do, how to do a pose. It's one thing when you're just fantasizing about it. It's another thing when you need to sell it. Selling it is the hard part. And a lot of artists don't understand that that's an actual issue, is being able to sell the poses that you're doing. So just being that support. Also, photo stylists, you're also going to help out with our, our hype girls and just keeping us in today's trend. Radio DJ. Radio DJs, you will focus on a radio station, EE as a whole, meaning our festivals and our interviews. So hopefully that was black and white. So radio station, meaning you will be in charge of helping us manage one of our radio stations for Exposure Explosion Festival. You will also be in charge of our EE festivals, tours, etc. And then you will also help us out with our interview side. So I don't know if you've done your homework, you know that we have an Exposure Explosion live interviews. So that's also an avenue that we need your help on, because we're trying to get, of course, for our podcast, we're switching to also a concert podcast, and we're going to need your help because, all different types of that. Recruiter, pretty plain cut and dry, find, hire, train, repeat. So recruiters, as you get your manager, they're going to train you on that. Find, hire, train, repeat. That's what we're looking for in recruiters. So normally recruiters don't have a lot of power. You just simply find people and send it off to the company and hope and pray they take the person. No, you've already been talking to the person. So we just want to make sure that you're focused on a division of the company. You know how that company operates and runs. You're able to train the person that you've already been talking to, and you can start working them. That's our goal, to make everything clean, cut, and dry. Regional managers. Regional managers, that's kind of my favorite one too as well. So regional managers control a region or a state to keep things flowing. So you don't have to put the pieces together. We put the pieces together. You just manage. That's the biggest thing. We don't want you to come on here thinking you have to build a whole team. We're going to develop the team, put the team together. We're already doing that. We have, like I said, tons of applications. So our goal is to put the team together for you, make sure it runs smoothly, ask you to manage so that we can continue to run smoothly. That's what we need you to do. Just manage, manage, manage. So if you're a manager of any kind, we don't need you to come over here doing the job. We need you just simply to manage the job that is being done. Managing is a huge part of stability in a company. Without management, you actually have nothing. We need managers. We need managers to make sure that the process is running smoothly. Social media artist recruitment team member. So this idea is more in-house idea that we kind of came up with as a team. We kind of saw that, if you ever been on Instagram, you know that people are always, I call it, selling their services to you. Graphics designers are the best ones who do that. They typically get on Instagram and like, you should buy my services for $15.99. So kind of developing and cultivating that thought, we decided to build a social media artist recruitment team whose job is to simply get on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all social medias of any kind, scout people, inform them of our services. So again, your job isn't to make the sale. That's not your job. Your job is simply to inform them of our services and go to the next person. Inform them of our services, go to the next person. Inform them of our services, Go to the next person. That's the goal. Store manager. You work in our office slash store and control that office slash store. So, just to kind of break that down, every single city and state that we put jobs out in will have a office slash a store. And store managers, your job is to manage that. We have those as hubs because all artists are different levels in their life. So we want to make sure that we have not everyone has the ability to be able to call us anytime they need something. They may just have the ability to come up to one of our locations, physically lay eyes on someone. So every store location that we have will also have the ability to sell cigarettes, alcohol, and food. So obviously, if you're in the Texas area, I know you guys are pretty much about ready to get going here. We actually have a location getting ready to open up. So we're definitely going to be going through our applications and starting to hire, interview, get all you guys ready for that. Studio engineer, studio engineers. So, um, you will run our studios. And then if you have a home studio and you are choosing, it's a choice, you don't have to, you are choosing to put your home studio in with our company during the HR process, we will help take over and manage that studio, meaning we will then pay for the bills for that studio. So we'll make sure we cut a percentage out for the lights, make sure that if equipment gets broken, we do that. We're going to stock that studio up with the right credentials, such as sales tax, the ability to do other different things in that studio, just to give it an extra umph. We're going to push and promote it. People from across the world who are already using our services are going to be able to book studios directly through with you guys. So that means that you will have, exposure explosion clients coming directly there. And then, of course, that just makes it even bigger and better and stronger, even for the artist side. So again, if you are choosing to put your home studio in with us, that is a choice. You don't have to. If you're choosing to do that, we will just basically take on the responsibilities of helping you maintain that studio. Okay. Um, Talent booking agent. So, talent booking agents, your job is simple. You're going to book entertainers, client pays monthly, hype girls. You focus on EE models and marketing. Video editors edit all the videos from everywhere. Just to be clear, again, on the hype girls, how that's going to play out and work. Hype girls, you are the lifeline of EE for all situations, all of that. You are the face, you are the voice, you are the look, you are the feel. Hype girls, you are everything. I want to make sure that the hype girls keep that in mind. You are everything to this. So the key for the hype girls is we do supply you with a uniform. We also work on taking you in a bigger scale, meaning everything is free for you. So free food. When we have tours, your hotel is free. The goal of hype girls is to really make hype. Think of it like the Hooters version of Hooters. Pretty much that's the commodity. That's why people go to that event. The hype girls, you guys will have your own theme song. You'll have, a modeling director who will teach you how to use your beauty and be able to make that environment more fun, just everything. Again, this is entertainment. So video editors, your job is to edit all videos from everywhere. That's the key thing. There's not much to be said on that. We're just going to send you the videos, let you know what we're trying to do, and you can fix it up. Warehouse package handlers. This is its own little section because this is technically kind of new. So again, I told you we're a hybrid company. So our warehouse is in your home. I know that didn't get explained when some of you initially applied. I just want to make sure that I explain it now. So the warehouse package handlers, cut and dry, we send all supplies to your home and you put it together and the mail service picks it up and sends it off. That simple. For instance, we may ship to you, okay, we need you to build a hype girl uniform. You're going to get all the supplies shipped to you, warehouse packager, handlers. You're going to put the box together. You're going to put the contents into the box. You're going to print out the little thing. You're going to put it on top of the box and you're just going to sit it at your door and wait for FedEx or UPS to come pick it up. That's simple. That's the warehouse package handler. So you don't even have to go to a hot building where everything's crazy. You don't even have to worry about it. Everything comes to you. You do it from the home. You just get everything sent out. YouTuber, you make our YouTube interactive and fun. cut and dry. You get to create different shows, events. We will also help with that. You basically get to control just the YouTube channel as a whole. We want it to be very, very, very interactive. That's the key. Very, very, very interactive. Um, the details. Proof is in the pudding. What is the pay rate at Exposure Explosion Festival? Times are changing. Everything is being done from home. And because we're able to create a new version of companies and the new wave, we realize that people are walking away from families and everything else to do this, as well as we're doing something that is not done before. At the same time, it creates a lot of funding support, a lot of people support, and also we realize that you're walking away from your personal lives to keep this company going. So we do have a minimum wage of 30 an hour at Exposure Explosion. Although you can make more based on your location and the shift that you choose. So just being blunt, period, doesn't matter if you're a janitor coming in, a maid coming in, we do have a minimum requirement of $30 an hour. So this job position and wages, the pay amount was already sent to you when you applied, so you can kind of see the three levels. I just put it in here just so you can have another visual of it. I'm not going to go too far into it. It's pretty cut and dry. You can see kind of the idea of the pay and how we kind of have it structured. Company clauses. So this is kind of how we operate. I'm not sure you guys can see the screen, so I'll explain it. We only offer full-time positions. So black and white, that's what we offer. So if you can't operate us full-time, this probably isn't the company for you right now. We're not hiring any part-times right now just due to trying to keep up with quotas and everything else that our company has to do as we're growing. Employees cannot work any other job. Right now, we have that in place. As you go through your individual interviews, they will talk more about that and to see, because that also more varies depending on what you're doing with our company. So I just want to be very black and white. That depends on what you're doing in the position you're taking on. So phlebotomist, obviously you can have more of a little bit more open. So giving an idea of that, you can go, choose to go somewhere else and work our company. It's, one of those. So basically, as you go through your individual interviews, they'll talk in depth on that with you. Company closed on weekends. Cut and dry. Friday's our last day of work. Monday's our first day of work. So you're off on weekends. If your position or whatever requires you to work on weekends, that will not happen because none of you applied for a weekend position. There will specifically be a job that comes out that says weekend employee in whatever job it is. So if it doesn't say weekend on there, then you're not working the weekend. Just there it is. You may be asked personally in your personal interviews about that. So just keeping that option open. Company closed the day before, the day of, and the day after each national holiday. So again, if it's Christmas, because I know someone had asked me before, if it's Christmas, how would that work? If it's Christmas, we're closed the day before Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, the day after, and then, all of that. So that's how it kind of operates. Okay. So it doesn't matter if it's the eve of something, you're off the day before the eve. Okay. You can only apply for the same job position once every 6 months because we keep applications on file just so we can make sure we're readdressing what we're doing. So if you've applied to multiple positions, just stay there. We see you. We apologize that we're moving a little slow. Like I said, getting the right technology in place. This concept of a company has not been done before, so it's taking a lot longer to make sure we have the right people and that we're knowing what to ask, because that's the other key. With a blueprint, if you've done your homework, you see everything says we're building a blueprint for entertainers. So what we're doing has not been done. So we're going to be addressed with a lot of people who are fearing, all different types of stuff. But rest assured, we're already getting seen by Hype Magazine and all those different places. So I'm excited to see our company hit those peaks. Each potential employee must attend a company understanding event. You're at it. So this is more just someone telling you the in-betweens of the company, because again, because this is such a new concept, what we would hate to do, give you an interview, you have the job, but you don't know what you're working to, who you're working for, what you're working for, or even the concept or the idea. So the goal is to give you at least a little glimpse into what exposure explosion is designed to be and where we're headed. Okay, so please don't take this as this is your interview and this is it. We're still going to talk to you individually. We're still going to get you where you need to go. This is just giving you an idea or a clue, some kind of padding to kind of know where to start. Like, okay, I can say they do multiple things and they do this, this, and this. That's what this is about. Don't think the experience stops here. Each employee must purchase their own $13 company badge. That's everyone across the board. That's me. That's everyone. We do that because obviously, with companies growing home based, we are not able to collect those badges back. If you walk away, that's it. That's money down the drain. But that also means that those badges connect to all the office buildings, connects to all the HR, connects to everything. So we need to make sure that if an employee is going to get something like that, it becomes your own. We do not take those badges back. We will erase our information off the badges, but we will not take those badges back. We don't, yeah, they are yours to keep. So that's the only out of pocket expense that's on everyone, just because of times how things have changed, and just people going through job changes, shifts, life changes. We want to make sure that, if we have to shovel out a bunch of money, it's for that person to keep. Okay, drivers must purchase their own printer. So drivers, unless otherwise stated. So drivers, make sure you have a printer. That's because you may need to print out the paperwork that we're sending you for marketing. You may not. Just, I would say, to be safe, go ahead and make sure you have a printer. But again, you may go through your interview and your boss tells you you don't even have to worry about it. If that's the case, don't worry about it. Home based call center reps, you got to have a cell phone. So if you have a cell phone, you're in, you're good, you're fine, you're safe. If you don't, when it's time to schedule your interview, just say that so that they can work with you on getting a cell phone. Okay. Warehouse package handlers, you need some space in your house. You need a computer and a camera phone. If you don't have one, some, or all of these things, let us know so we can help you achieve those things. Okay. Child care teachers, we ask that you come with infant and child CPR and first aid. If you can do that, you're on the right path. If you don't have it, again, let us know so that we can help you achieve it. Okay, for our HR, we use ADP. So 99% of you probably know who that is and what they do. But just for those who don't, onboarding and payroll, paycheck stubs, and more. So your initial onboarding will come from ADP. Zenefits, your HR agreements will come from there. Company badges, that website that you see, employeebadgeregistration.com, is where you will go to register for your company badges. That site is not accessible right now. It will be accessible in the coming days. Okay. So employeebadgeregistration.com, that is the actual website for it though. To start HR, once you're told that the offer has been sent to you, we definitely want you to be a part of the team. It is your job to start the HR process by going to employeehrregistration.com. Okay. So we are not going to send you a link or nothing. You have to go to employeehrregistration.com. At that point, you're going to put all the information that it asks. We're going to populate your information, make sure that the other person clicked that you truly were hired. We're going to match your information, and then it's going to get sent off to you. Okay. To order supplies. Supplies ordering is free. This just helps us stay organized to know that you need supplies. This is probably majority of you who are in warehouse or even a phlebotomist. This will be your website primarily, employeesuppliesregistration.com. That's going to be where the website that you go to. Again, all three of these sites we own. They're getting developed on the back end. So just know when it's time in the coming days, that'll be where you go. You'll go there. You'll click all the different stuff that you need. So if you're a new hire for employee supplies registration, just remember you put new hire package because that'll send you one of everything to start. You know what I mean? So just kind of do that. So far, that is the company breakdown. I'm going to talk to the team real quick and just see if there was any questions that I need to answer. So I'm going to go through everything on my end and make sure everything is good. Okay. So, and again, I apologize for the full screen issue. Like I said, it's my system was not working appropriately the way that I'm hoping to, but I'm going to answer any questions that you put in there just about. So give me a minute. I'm going to take myself off real quick, get those questions from my team so I can go through and answer those real quick. Okay. Just give me just a few minutes. One moment. Okay, currently finding some questions. Okay, so for the DJ, will that require traveling or will we only work out of the city we are in? And will it be working from home, hybrid, or in office studio? So for DJ, great question. So technically, thank you, Chris, for asking that question. Technically, you will work from, you're kind of hybrid. So sometimes you will work in the office, but it won't be, it'll technically be like one of our studios. And or you will also work from home. So great question. So from Kyle, what are the next steps and when will the interview be for specific? Okay, so we're actually working on that right now, Kyle. Thank you so much for asking that question. We are working on next steps as we speak. This just happens to be a part of one of the processes just to kind of get basic understanding of the company. But of course, it'll be a lot better, more professional, just everything. So I would say expect communication literally this week. You're going to start seeing a lot of rapid movement, especially coming from this meeting. So anyone who is looking for actual like movement this week should be that case. So that's kind of that's how it's going to operate. One moment, let me see. Okay, sorry you guys. I could be saying your name wrong. Please excuse me, but I have your name listed. Tina, for the photographer position, will we need to travel out of our current area? If you do, all expenses will be paid. Okay, if you do, all expenses will be paid, but the hope and prayer is that you do not. You will be able to work in your city and state. Again, the cities and states that we had the jobs out are the city and states that we are coming out in and are already out. And so I just want to be clear, if you do, you will not have to stress about those expenses that will be paid by the company. Okay, so you do not have to worry about that. Okay. I do not want to mispronounce your name. So, but what I will say, I know when will the interviews begin? The interviews will begin this week. We're going to start working on getting some of you wrapped up and getting going. For Thomas, for the regional manager position that I applied for, how many regions will you break the company into? Perfect, 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 perfect question. Okay, the company will break up into different sectors. So, for instance, typically every position will have a regional and a store manager. Does that make sense? So, for instance, the DJs will have a regional manager in that city and state, and then so on, so forth, everything. So everything will be broken up individually. It could be my mind. I do have autism, so I try to break everything apart and streamline it as much as possible, so that way it's clear. But that's how we operate. You'll be over you'll be over a exact section. I'm trying to say it correctly here. But you'll be over an exact section. So you might be over all the social media team in your city and state. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm being redundant, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Thank you so much, Elijah. We are so excited to have you on. I cannot wait till they get to you in the hiring process. I'm excited. Okay, BKR for the phlebotomist position. Whose house are we going to? So for the phlebotomist, you're going to potential employees and clients. So artists. So, and then if they live in our artist housing, you will just go to one of our own artist housing. So again, you are traveling. So you go to the client, whoever that may be. Okay, one moment. I'm going to the Could you repeat childcare position, please? Yes, LaShawn. So the childcare position is held out of our company offices. So connected to it will also be the childcare. And so basically, as a childcare teacher, your job is just to teach the children. We'll have lesson plan, all of those different things going for you. You'll have the principals, all of that. So you'll work in one of our offices. How often will packages be delivered for package handlers? Perfect question. So typically, I would say look at it like 3 to 4 times a week, depending on our caseload. Thank you so much for being excited. We're excited to have you on. Asheville, Tennessee, interviewing for regional. Thank you so much. Okay, as video editors, will we be working from the office? I believe it will be important to have some sort of cohesive incentive for maintain quality. Yes. So some of you, so again, for video editors, you're going to be split into different divisions. So if your section was listed like just kind of thrown in there, that means you're going to break off into different departments of the company. So some of you will be remote, some of you will be traveling, some of you will be in the office. So it's just all different. You're going to be all different. So when we talk to you for interviews, they're going to talk about your preference, they're going to talk about your skills, all of that, and we're going to be able to go from there. If I already applied on Indeed, do I need to apply on your company website again? Perfect question. Okay, that is actually the perfect question. So my advice would be our company is getting away from third party application sites because Indeed, Glassdoor, and other sites like that do not cater to what we are really looking for and needing from people. Meaning, we may say for independent musician, we need a video, but Indeed doesn't do that. So my advice would be, if you have the patience and time, please do go back and apply through the company site. Yes, that would be perfect. Thank you. And that would be through the applicant stack. I'll put that up here soon. Okay. But yes, thank you so much for asking at the newcomer. Thank you. Okay, boss lady. Can we hold more than one position at a time? So that is a wonderful question. Technically, right now, I think you can. I think it really boils down to what you're doing. So you can. I mean, that's a great question. You can. My advice would just be to make sure you also re-ask that when you're going through your interview process, so that way you're good. But yeah, technically, there's nothing against that. Yes, Liv. I will definitely post that up in a minute. I'm actually going to put all of the links in here in the chat. So you guys just give me a minute. I'm going to finish answering some questions, but I'm going to put all the websites in here directly. Okay. And then for those of you who don't know, we do operate our help desk. I'm also going to make sure I put that in here as well. Okay. Can you give more examples of the type of packages that will be sent to our house for package answer only? How big are the packages and in what quantity? Okay, so technically, an example of the packages would be, like I said, if you're dealing with so you may be assigned to deal with phlebotomist. So you would make sure the urine cups, the needles, whatever else may be, the whole supplies. I'm not a phlebotomist, so I can't go into the technical terms, but your job is to make sure you put the box in there, the supplies, the paperwork that I have to fill out all in one box. So, and then as far as the quantity, that just depends on your caseload. So when you go for your interview, they're going to talk to you about your comfort level of, how much supplies can you handle, etc. So it literally is I call it the open door policy for comfort. So they're really going to say, okay, and how many do you need items shipped daily because you can only handle a daily amount of packages, or can you handle a week at a time? That really depends, because some people are in apartments, some people live with people, and so they cannot handle as much. So, but since we need help in that area regardless, you get to help decide what's best. Hopefully that I answered your question. You welcome. Yes. So benefits are being offered. So, how the benefits work, everyone as a whole gets covered health insurance. Oh, look at me. Look at me. I'm so short. You're going to realize how short I am. Okay. But for the benefits, everyone gets covered healthcare. We have company benefit packages that is going to be explained individually. That is nothing that I can talk about here. Besides, you have awesome benefits. I just can't go into it because I'm not your supervisor. But your individual supervisor will work with you and connect with you on that. But we do have awesome benefits, yes. And since everyone's full time, obviously that means everyone has access to those. Are the manager roles solely salary, no commission? We don't have any commission positions in the company. So hopefully that answers the question. So we don't have any commissioned positions. So everything is basically, look at it for our pay. We give you, it's basically hourly, but we're giving you the salary amount because if you take off for an hour, obviously there's that. So literally everyone is hourly, but we're giving you the salary amount. So that's why I said you have to go back on your initial HR stuff and just kind of look through it. It'll tell you what your pay rate is. Perfect questions on what is our COVID policies. Um, COVID policies are very strict around here. That is also going to be given based off your job description. What I can tell you, I know gloves is a must. I know the mask thing we have is a must. We have a whole bunch of those, but of course it alternates and it's more strict depending on where you work. So my advice to you would be when you get ready to go through your interview to, talk with your hiring HR manager about that, okay? Hold on, I'm still going through comments, everyone. Everyone is paid bi-weekly. Perfect question. Bi-weekly is the pay. Okay, how big would the team be that works with the at-home studio engineer? That depends. So my advice would be for that particular issue, that was going to depend on you and your hiring manager. I'm not the person that can speak on that directly, so we'll be able to deal with that when you go through your actual HR. Will the interview be in person or online? That depends on your hiring manager. So, for instance, your hiring manager may first initially talk to you online, then they may ask for a phone call, then they may bring you in person, they may flip it around and bring you in person. So, that truly depends on your HR manager. I am not the person who can decide that or even speak to that. That is typically decided when it's time. What positions are fully remote? Right now, positions that are fully remote are the package handlers and call centers. Those two are fully remote. Everything else is more hybrid, or depending on what they're doing. I may be a little bit wrong depending on all the jobs. So again, your HR manager will be able to go through that with you because some may be hybrid. So you may have pieces of something that I'm saying is in person, but it could have a remote part to it. So the biggest thing is waiting until you go through your HR process, because when I tell you every position also has a, you know, everything could have multiple streams to it. So you may have those who are remote, those who are traveling, and those who are in office. So it just depends. If hired, you mentioned an exclusive clause, where there be contracts for this or just the application. So there be contracts to it. So that just depends too. So what we mean by exclusive, meaning we don't really like people to work more than one job because it's strenuous on the employee, and typically that's a part of the reason why some people quit their jobs. So, but again, that is more something you'll need to talk about in your HR, because they do have a right to switch things up and say, okay, you can work a job if you extra job if you choose. That's more just our personal thing. I definitely did say that. I'm real short. Package handlers can be remote because we send the packages to you. Anyone getting it better? Okay, so for applicant stack, I need to make sure you guys are typing it in correctly. Give me one moment. Let me see if I can put the link in here. Okay, we're going to attempt to do this. Okay, hopefully, did you guys see that? I hope you did. I'm trying something new here. So hopefully you did. I just put the applicant stack information in there, okay? So that should help you because I'm actually on it while I'm talking to you a little bit, okay? Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm doing the best I can to address everything as good as possible, as well as possible. So thank you so much. Thank you. Does it matter which city I apply for on your website for work? Or, no, it does not. So if it's an at-home base, just apply anywhere. Just anywhere. We'll get it. We'll get it. As a DJ slash mentor, I need to provide my own. Yes. So if you don't have the equipment, it is best if you do. So anybody that is a photographer or a DJ or anything like an editor, please have your own equipment. If you don't, please mention that during the interview process. Do not leave that out. That is vital information. It will not necessarily disqualify you, but it could alter when you start. I just want to be very transparent. It does not mean you're disqualified. It could just mean, so you need to talk to your HR manager. But yes, please, if you do have your own equipment, you are definitely needed. Yes. But again, we will help you manage that equipment and software. Okay. So just as an update. Do you get holidays off? And so again, Luke, thank you for joining in. So for the holidays, you get all of that off. Yes. So in paid time off, yes, that also varies by department on how it works. So you're going to want to talk to your manager, because they're going to be able to. We give a lot of control to our managers. I just want to be very clear off the rip. So the managers are going to understand how the PTO works, because PTO is different for different positions. Okay, so I just want to be flat out honest with you. So it's different for different, but yes, that does obviously we do have to have that. So yes. But on holidays, you definitely have your holidays for sure. How many miles do delivery drivers drive a day? Great question. So that is not based on me. That is another situation that is based with your management. So I am not the person who will make that. You're, like I told you guys before, managers are the ones who will kind of help decide what is best, and what you're comfortable with. We really look at that, because you may look and you may say, hey, I can only do this much. So you really have to talk to your managers, because it also it just varies. Because again, one thing I will mention to you, if you, let's say you live right next to a bunch of apartments, or a little bit away you have a bunch of apartments, you may not be driving around, you may just be putting the information on the doors of the apartment. So therefore, your miles are cut out from there. So I'm not sure. Do not get me to lying on this, Cam. Just know that that when time your manager will work with you and talk about comfort level and stuff like that. I'm not your manager, so I don't want to overspeak or underspeak. How soon, if hired, will we start? Perfect question. That is typically more on the immediate side. So if you're told you're hired, as long as you go through the whole process, you shouldn't have an issue while you're waiting too long, because we're technically not going to interview you if we're not ready for you. So if we're interviewing you, if we're going through those applications, we need someone to start now. So if we're telling you you're hired, it's on you now to go to those websites that we gave you, and start knocking out the process. But again, these same websites will also um, come back to you. Oh, so warehouse package handler is a remote position. Yes, Hannah. Yes, it is. It is a remote position. Yes, you can, Lizzie. You can definitely apply to multiple positions. I'm a fine art photographer looking forward to creating masterpieces to help artists stand out. Let us know if there's any way we can submit some physical. Yes. So actually, I'm happy you brought this up. If you are something that basically has proof of your work. That's the best way to put it. So if you have, if you're a photographer, you've got a photo album. If you're an editor and you've done editing on videos, whatever you have for proof, definitely bring. That's why I'm saying you're okay with reapplying and sending that in, because we do see it. So definitely feel free to resubmit if you're like, I don't want to just send my resume. I want to send proof. That's where I was saying why we're pulling away from Indeed, Glassdoor, because they're not giving us the information we really need from you guys. So please definitely feel free, if you are in one of those positions, to go back through our applicant staff website and submit all your information, because there you can send us links and all of that. So please definitely do. We definitely do look at it. After this information is a session about when should we expect a call for interviews. So perfect question. So there is like over 30,000 that we're dealing with. So I will tell you, um, give us this week to go through some things, because we also need to make sure people are qualified to do what they say they're going to do. You'll be surprised how many people just apply because we're trying something new. We're not against people trying something new. We just want to make sure the new thing that you're trying for, you know what I'm saying, it makes sense to what you're trying to do. And we really want to get to know our team, and we like to have real personable conversations. Again, we are talking about entertainment. And entertainment, you are dealing with a bunch of animated people, and some people could be signed, some people are not, some people are a little bit more bougie about their work. We just want to make sure that everyone fits in appropriately, because entertainment happens at night, and I just want to make sure that everybody understands this is entertainment. This is not the typical company that you would go for. This is not Amazon. This is not any of these other companies. This is new. If you are trying to put this company in a box, you're wrong already, because there's not a box this company is going to fit in. Everything that we're doing is a blueprint, meaning we are designing it. There's not a mapping plan for this. So think of us like a health and human services for artists. Think of us like a social security office for artists. We literally give out social security cards to our artists so that we can recognize when they come to us. So for instance, we make our own little card and they get it, and it has a certain number on there that when they put the information in, we know who they are. That's how serious we are. We're changing the game for artists. Okay. Let's see. Um, so far, yes. So we are actually, some of you should see me soon. So most definitely. So just give us a bit and we're going to be there. Okay, you guys. So it looks like we're running through on time. I'm going to make sure our team sends all the links. We're going to add all the links in here. Just give me just a few minutes. I'm going to go dark for a bit. I'm going to make sure I get all these links sent to you. You're more than welcome to stay on so you can write down the information, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much. All righty.